Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Outside of the state capital in California, Sacramento, California. Folks, there's something going on here in reference to a credible threat that they received via email, which caused the entire capital to be evacuated in California. And the situation is going on right now. There's been some sort of, I believe, a bomb threat that has been received via email, and they have cleared the entire building inside the state capitol. This is Sacramento, California. According to news reports, folks, sources in the Senate chamber tell CBS News Sacramento that state senators and staff have been told to leave the Capitol building ASAP after a report of a threat. California Highway Patrol also released a statement saying that an email threat has been received. At the direction of joint rules, the Capitol and swing space have been temporarily evacuated while California Highway Patrol officers search for any threats. So it seems like there's a situation going on at the Capitol building in downtown Sacramento. What is going on here? We're trying to understand this situation. Come on in, folks. This is breaking across the media reports right now. Threats prompt evacuation order for California's Capitol building in Sacramento. So we don't have much more information. There is a couple news reports I'm going to play shortly as we gather information on what is going on at the Capitol building. This is not the U.S. Capitol, folks. This is the capital of the state of California. I want to make that perfectly clear. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member, Miss Renee M&M. Thank you for that. So what we have here, according to what I'm reading, there has the CHP is saying that on December 6, 2024, look, what's going on here? Who are they? What's going on here? Feds, California Highway Patrol, agents. What's going on here? This could be something to something, or nothing of nothing, or just, as they say, an abundance of caution. Searching around for any threats. Now, what I've been seeing on other feeds is, I don't know if we're going to see that here. We've been seeing dogs, bomb-sniffing dogs all around the area there in California. So we're very mindful of what's going on in real time. At this time, I do not see it all clear yet. I do not see it. What they're saying, California state capitol buildings have been evacuated due to a bomb threat. Let's see. State Senator Subin Rubio confirmed everyone was told to leave the building. Workers were told to work from home, and Governor Newsom has been reported safe. According to ABC News' Alex Stone, Newsom is far from the area. California Highway Patrol is searching the buildings. All right, so that's what we know thus far. Actually, Magnolia, there a clip just came. Play that 5-minute clip that we have of a local media there talking about the KCRA. KCRA just put out a report. Let's see what's going on. Looks like they got the cameras far away from the building.
Breaking news now out of Sacramento, and we know that the state capitol has been evacuated.
So something suspicious apparently has shown up, and we'll just read you what's been sent to us this morning. The heads up has been given to people at the Capitol that the Senate is aware of a threat to the state capitol. Law enforcement now working, trying to figure out whether or not this is legit. But to be just incredibly cautious, what they've decided to do is have senators and Senate staff immediately leave the Capitol the O Street building and the LOB, and instead have workers work remotely from home until they can determine whether or not this is a credible threat. So, just taking the biggest, easiest thing you can do, which is get the people out so you can actually continue the investigation. So at this point, they've asked people to go home, continue their jobs from home, work remotely, and then as soon as they have a little bit more information on it or kind of a feel on whether or not this is something that they really need to be concerned about, they'll let everybody know. But at this point, as of 9:45 on a Friday morning, they are evacuating the state capitol.
Right, and we are, of course, working to reach out to the CHP. We do know they handle security around the Capitol, in and around the Capitol. So we're reaching out to them now to try to find out more about this threat. And Deirdre, you may remember this too. It was April of last year that the Capitol was also evacuated. At that time, there was a credible threat that involved one of the buildings there, and the search was underway for a suspect. A person was believed to have fired shots at a building. And so, again, that was just last year. Around the Capitol as well. A very similar situation came out that, of course, all of the lawmakers were told to evacuate. And then we, started our investigation and our reporting to find out more about what happened. And as we are doing now, Melanie Wingo is headed to that situation, or headed to the scene to try to get more information about what's going on and to see the scene and the location there as well.
And actually, that one you were talking about, that was actually in May of this year, and that was the one where they thought there'd been a threat, somebody saying that there was an anthrax anthrax was in a package that had shown up. It was later determined that it was not that at all, and it was not a big deal. But the reality is that if there's any question of it, it's just easier to clear the scene so that you can go in and get that investigation figured out. So
yeah, I think the anthrax one was also another one. This one was April of 2023, the one about involving the shooting threat. That one was last year, and the manhunt for the suspect and everything, and the Capitol being closed.
Well, I guess what it shows is that there's a protocol. Whenever there's any kind of security issue down there, they've got a plan, and this is the plan that's being executed this morning. And best case scenario, it turns out to be nothing, and everybody is home, and things carry on. But, you want to be careful because this is also a pretty big weekend in downtown Sacramento. We just a few minutes ago had the director of the California International Marathon coming in. That finish line is just 2 blocks away from the Capitol, finishes with the beautiful Capitol there behind you. So you're looking at having thousands of people in the area. So if you have any kind of threat in the area, you want to make sure everything is safe. And they've got a plan, and that's exactly what they're executing this morning as they try to figure this out. If you're just joining us right now, you're watching some breaking news out of the state capitol in downtown Sacramento this morning. Senate was made aware of some sort of a threat that had been made to the state capitol. Law enforcement at this point trying to figure out if that threat, they haven't really said what kind of a threat it is, whether or not that threat is credible. So just to be safe, what they've decided to do is send people home and have them work from home for the rest of the day so that the investigators can do their jobs. So this is affecting all senators, the Senate staff who've been asked to immediately leave the Capitol, but also the O Street building and the LOB, and then again, have them work remotely from home until this situation is finally resolved.
And so the original note to the senators and their staff and everyone working in that area appears to have been sent out right before 9 o'clock. And so we're not clear when the officials were made aware of the threat initially, but we do know they started to notify everyone just before 9 that they were being evacuated and being told to go home and to work from home. And we're still, again, working to find out more about the evacuation. We have reached out to our CHP contacts to try to get some more and learn more about this, and to kind of get more of an idea of what they are investigating. And one of the things that everyone is being told is that once the situation is resolved, everyone will be notified accordingly. Obviously not clear at this point if they will be allowed back into the Capitol at all today, or if they're gone for the day. At this point, we're unsure.
Well, at this point, they've been told to go home and work remotely, so, they've got a plan. The plan is being executed, and at this point, we are just waiting to hear what, if any, kind of
Capitol, located in downtown Sacramento. Apparently there has I don't see the all clear. So this is the area. I guess this is on one of the blocks right out front of the Capitol. might be L Street, might be N Street. But there's definitely a police presence there, evacuating. As some of you know, Sacramento, Capitol's just east of the Sacramento River, 275. I'm looking on the map, Capitol Mall. And they received some sort of threat. I have not seen the all clear. I am monitoring Twitter to see, particularly the California Highway Patrol Protection Service section Twitter account. Doesn't have any subsequent updates other than the building has been evacuated. We don't see major activity out there, though there was. We have another clip. Magnolia, if you don't mind sharing that 2-minute clip, there was some journalist or a journalist up on the ground. A couple other clips we'll share that just came across and get an understanding of what's going on.
CR3's Maricela de la Cruz. She just got to that area, and Maricela is joining us now. Again, Maricela, we know you just got there, but tell us more about what you're seeing around you.
Yeah, so this is the swing space building. You know, the area, it looks pretty calm. You can see the area, not a lot of people out here. We know that some people that are walking next to us, they are asking questions, what's going on. We did see, though, by the state capitol, which is just about a block away from where we're at, a lot of CHP and officers out there at this time. As you mentioned, there is a lot of security, law enforcement out here this weekend due to the CIM that is happening. But again, right now, as we're arriving, getting off the car, it looks pretty calm. It looks empty. We can see, I don't know, we can pan that way, someone right there at the entrance of that building. This is one of the buildings, Space Annex building that was evacuated along with the LOB and the Capitol. So that is the information that we have at the moment, but we're going to keep stay out here and then just keep trying to talk if we can find people in the area, and of course trying to gather more information to bring to you guys. For now, we are live. Maricela de la Cruz, KCRA 3 News.
Yeah, Maricela, I mean, I'm just talking, texting with some friends who work in the Capitol. And, one of the things that they're telling me is there just weren't a lot of people working in there today in person. There were a lot of people working remotely or just not working, period. So, I mean, that might actually be a good thing. It might explain also why you're not seeing these huge crowds of people coming from that building evacuating.
Yeah, that's right. We're not seeing a lot of people. Like I mentioned, a few people that were walking around the area were asking us what's going on. They did notice that the building is empty, but it is Friday. We're just not seeing a lot of people. We are seeing some people across the street having some breakfast at a restaurant right there. But aside from that, yeah, not much activity out here.
All right, our KCR3's Maricela de la Cruz reporting for us this morning.
All right, where did everyone go? Where did everyone go? That is the question. So we're back at the Capitol here. So we got an understanding. Is this just protocol? Do we have something to something, or nothing of nothing? That remains to be seen here at the Capitol in California. No updates. Let me see if I can just go across and try to get an understanding of what's going on. California Capitol evacuated. Just last month, covering the election at the time, as we were covering the election in Georgia, a lot of people were making those bomb threats into some of the polling stations and whatnot. Or do we just have just a prank here, or do we have someone just trying to disrupt everything, or what? But you can see there is police around there with bikes. What do we got here? Yeah, there's definitely it's CHP is on the back of that officer's jacket there. CHP, California Highway Patrol, Capitol building evacuated. Let me go to the news and just see. Bomb threat basically is a bomb threat. So in this day and age, you receive a bomb threat, you got to take these things seriously, right? At least look into it. Whoa. We got movement. We got a whole rack of officers. CHP, Chips Patrol, it looks like. Yeah. People are like, yeah, this is definitely serious. Very, very interesting. People said the sheriffs have arrived in California Highway Patrol. So you got different law enforcement. I'm sure you've got Sacramento police there too at the scene. We'll just continue to sit here and look a minute and see what's going on till I get more information. That was one feed up. That's from a local media. We played 2 clips. But yeah, man, it's we're living in a time where when you do receive threats, you got to take these threats seriously, whether they're bogus or not. You got to at least look into it. So if they receive something in the email saying, "Hey, so and so is going to blow up" or whatever, you got to at least look into it. Because if you don't, what if something happened? What if something happened? So probably I would say, what time is it there? 11 o'clock, 12:12. Probably out of abundance of caution, they probably won't send people back for the day. I think probably look at that. Police are there, they're all over the grounds. Probably session is adjourned for the day. Probably no more activity there for the rest of the day, at the very least. I mean, it would have been scary if a bomb actually went off. It'd be like, whoa. Yeah, it doesn't look like nothing is happening. We got another clip. I just sent Magnolia. We'll throw that up and see what they're saying, what the local media is saying about this situation. As I continue to monitor the Twitter feed, still evacuated, and then they also have canine dogs. I'm looking at this. You still got police. Law enforcement presence and a canine dog outside the Capitol building. Law enforcement presence outside historic Capitol building and the swing space building housing lawmakers' offices 1 block south of the California Capitol building. Well, that's interesting. So do we have multiple locations here?
Out of Sacramento, the Capitol building has been evacuated at this hour. And Fox 40's Capitol correspondent Eitan Wallace is live at the state Capitol with the latest information. Eitan, we know that this happened just a couple of moments ago. We know that some workers have been evacuated. What's the latest? What does it look like out there?
Oh, yes, Bianca. Good morning to you and everybody in the Sacramento area. Well, exactly as you said, workers, the offices here, staff members, lawmakers, all evacuated from the historic Capitol building here. You see here on N Street here in downtown Sacramento, N and 11th Street on the south side of the Capitol where we are here. Definitely a police presence. You're looking at the entrance of the Capitol. This is really where normally at this time you would have elementary school students, tour guides. Even today they have an orchestra that's supposed to play inside the Capitol Rotunda. Well, none of them are entering right now because the Capitol is under evacuation. All staff members told to go home. Here's specifically what we know as of this morning. The Senate Deputy Secretary of Senate Human Resources sent an email to all staff members of the Capitol saying the Senate was made aware of a threat to the state Capitol. Law enforcement actively working to determine if the threat is credible. But an abundance of caution, all senators and Senate staff and assembly members and assembly staff should immediately leave the Capitol and, by the way, other facilities here as well, and work remotely from home until the situation is resolved. Now, important to note, Bianca, that yes, here at the historic Capitol building, everybody knows the one with the dome, and that's where the chambers are. Really only a handful of the main staff members work in that building, just the Senate President Pro Tempore staff and the Assembly Speaker staff and a few others. The vast majority of the others are actually 1 block south of here at the 9-story swing space building. That's the office building that houses the offices of the Assembly, of the Senate. That's where the majority of staff members work. That's also where the governor's office is. Now, we have confirmed the governor is not present here in Sacramento today. He is in Southern California today, so he is not here for any of this. And by the way, In terms of the closures, Capitol Park, that is totally closed off. That's why we can't really get past these bushes here, because CHP has closed off Capitol Park. And final thing I should say, and Bianca, you were there just this morning, because of the CIM marathon here happening this weekend, well, they already had some street closures in the area as it was. So those streets north and really, I should say, west of the Capitol, closer to the Tower Bridge, those are already closed off. So that's kind of unrelated. But as it pertains to the Capitol building, still closed off. I spoke with the tour guide here who says he's never really seen it closed off for more than an hour. So clearly they're still investigating this threat, whatever it is, to determine whether it is credible or not. Reporting live here at the state capitol, covering local news that matters, Eitan Wallace, Fox 40 News.
Thank you so much for those updates, Eitan. And like you said, they're still investigating to see what exactly this threat is. And like you said, also on Sunday, we know the California International Marathon will be occurring with tens of thousands of runners and spectators there. I reached out to the executive director of the California International Marathon to see if they're going to be upgrading their security measures now that this is happening at the Capitol. And he got back to me in a statement. Scott Abbott said, quote, "We are in active communication with all local public safety agencies as more information is being gathered, and we will communicate updates, if any, regarding the impacts to the event through all channels," end quote. Again, the finish line of the California International Marathon right there on Capitol Mall, just a couple of blocks away from the state capitol where this investigation is taking place.
All right. So, got the building evacuated. I do not see any updates on Twitter in reference to we got an all clear. The way they're applying is if they received threats before, within an hour. Now, I got another live feed. I sent you, Magnolia. This is a little bit back a little bit, but I'm going to share the live scene right now. Well, actually, no, it actually went off. Okay, so I think the live feed is done on that particular area. I do not see any additional live feeds up currently. Let me just scour through to see if I can get any more information. Other than that, I think it's just protocol. What do we got?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Yes, I am.
This is just on a little delay. Is she gonna talk?
They're coming to us. You do know that, right? We're like 1 minute out from the show. Excuse me, can I come through right here? I'm sorry. 30 seconds, thank you.
And it's Bianca, anchor. And we have the shot goal, right? Sorry for all the questions. Perfect. Thanks so much. Perfect. Thanks for getting back. I appreciate it.
Stand by. We'll be coming on soon. Here we go.
News at 11 a.m. I'm Jordan Tolbert. And right now we are following breaking news at the Capitol this morning after a threat came in there. So let's go ahead and get straight to ABC 10's Candace Red. Candace, you've been there for about an hour now. What can you tell us?
So what I can share with you is that there are security concerns here at the California State Capitol, giving you a live look right behind me so you can see the scene here for yourself. Now, officers with the California Highway Patrol are not allowing anyone inside of the state capitol at this time. We know that CHP is securing the Capitol grounds. Now, CHP, they told us that an email threat was received at the Capitol this morning, and at the direction of Joint Rules, the Capitol and swing space have been temporarily evacuated, while California Highway Patrol officers search for any threats. CHP, they're not giving us any additional information at this time, but you know what? Here's what I can tell you. Around 9 a.m. today, ABC 10 got an email straight from the Deputy Secretary Sheila Braverman with Senate Human Resources. In the email, Braverman explains that the Senate was made aware of a threat to the state capitol. She goes on to explain that law enforcement is actively working to determine if the threat is credible. Again, giving you a live look here, as you can see, officers here at the scene. But out of an abundance of caution, all senators and Senate staff should immediately leave the Capitol and work remotely from home until the situation is resolved. Again, that's all we know at this point. I did get here to the scene not too long ago, and I saw CHP blocking off the Capitol grounds and entrances to everyone. People who walk up, they simply have to turn around. Again, they are not welcome here at this time on these grounds. Now, some people were even growing frustrated because they can't get their personal belongings from the building. And you know what? There's just simply no telling when the state capitol building will reopen. Right now, it is just a wait and see. Now, once we learn more details, of course, we'll be sure to bring it straight to you on air and online at abc10.com. You can see some folks walking up trying to get access to the Capitol grounds. CHP officer telling them, no, that's not going to happen. So most likely they'll have to turn around. But again, we'll be sure to give you some more details as this is breaking news. In Sacramento, Candace Red, ABC 10.
All right, Candace Red live outside the Capitol building. Thank you, Candace.
All right, folks. So that feed went away. There is no additional feeds or no additional information. So I don't know. I'm left in the dark here. I went on Twitter to find out if we could find out if there's an all clear, if this is worse than it is. But it seems like that's where we're at. Basically evacuated the building. I'm assuming it was just a false alarm here. Nothing, but you gotta take everything seriously. That's the way it seems like here. But I did want to come out because we didn't know what was going on. So we wanted to come live to evaluate the situation. But other than that, I do not see any other reports coming out on this. So when there is, I'll put something in the comments to let you know the outcome. But I think the threat is gone at this point, and they're just cleaning up the building or sweeping through the building, and then probably whether they go back today or tomorrow or whatever. But stay cautious out there. Stay be vigilant out there, friends. Bomb threats, schools, buildings, government office, things happen. Thank God there was actually not a real bomb. Thank God. All right, folks, JLR Investigates. Thanks for watching this particular segment. Anything else comes out of this, if something else breaks, I'll come back and break. But there's nothing else to report on this, so we're peacing out. We're moving on. We'll talk to you soon. Stay tuned.